గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ ఆల్. ఈరోజు మనం CSAT పేపర్లోని నెంబర్ సిస్టంలో ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఒకసారి డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. నవ్ మై ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఇస్ హౌ మెనీ కాన్సిక్యూటివ్ జీరోస్ ఆర్ దేర్ ఎట్ ద ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ అన్ ఇంటిజర్ obtained in the product 1 to the power of 2 into 2 to the power of 4 into 3 to the power of 6 into 4 to the power of 8 so on up to 25 to the power of 50. Now, if you observe this pattern carefully, మనకి నెంబర్ ఏదైతే వస్తుందో దానిలో ఉన్న పవర్ డబల్ అవుతుంది. 1 టు ద పవర్ ఆఫ్ 2, 2 టు ద పవర్ ఆఫ్ 4, 3 టు ద పవర్ ఆఫ్ 6, 4 టు ద పవర్ ఆఫ్ 8, సో ఆన్ అప్ టు 25 టు ద పవర్ ఆఫ్ 50. సో ఈ ప్యాటర్న్లో ఉన్న సిరీస్లో మనం జీరోస్ ఎన్ని ఉంటాయో క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయమంటున్నాడు. నవ్ ఇఫ్ యూర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ ద జీరోస్, ఒకవేళ మీరు జీరోస్ గురించి మాట్లాడితే కనుక ఖచ్చితంగా యూ షుడ్ థింక్ అబౌట్ 2 into 5. 2 into 5. 2 into 5 is 10, right? I can get a 0. Now, my first question, 1 into 0. Why you are not talking about 1 into 0? 1 into 0 మనం ఎందుకు కన్సిడర్ చేయట్లేదు అని అంటే, సిరీస్ 1తోనే స్టార్ట్ అయింది. దెర్ ఈస్ నో డైరెక్ట్ జీరో ఇన్ ద సిరీస్. ఇన్ ద గివెన్ సిరీస్, గివెన్ సెట్లో నాకు ఎక్కడ జీరో కనబట్టలేదు. సో ఐఎమ్ లీస్ట్ బాదర్డ్ అబౌట్ 1 into 0. సో అక్కడి నుంచి ఒకవేళ 1 నుంచి కన్సిడర్ చేస్తే కనుక I will think about 2 into 5. 2 into 5. Okay? Now, నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఏం రావచ్చు అని అంటే 2 into 5 ఒక్కటే 10 వస్తుందా, ఇంకెక్కడ జీరో రాదా అని అంటే 4 into 5 20, అక్కడ కూడా నాకు జీరో వస్తుంది, అంతే కదా. 4 into 5 ఒక జీరో వస్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్ నెంబర్ 5 into 4 ఒక జీరో వస్తుంది. క్లియర్? నవ్ మై పాయింట్ ఈస్ ఒకవేళ మీరు 4 into 5 కూడా ఒక జీరో వస్తుంది అంటే కనుక ఐ క్యాన్ రైట్ దిస్ 4 as 2 into 2, రైట్? 2 into 2 కింద రాసుకోవచ్చు. సో 2 into 5 is 0 అగైన్, విచ్ ఇస్ మై ఫస్ట్ కన్సర్న్. నేను ఫస్ట్ అదే కదా తీసుకున్నాను, 2 into 5. సో మీరు ఏ నెంబర్ తీసుకున్నా సరే, ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఏ నెక్స్ట్ టర్మ్ తీసుకున్నా సరే, ఖచ్చితంగా 6 into 5 30, you'll have a 0 over there. 8 into 5 40, you'll have a 0 over there, రైట్? అంటే ఖచ్చితంగా మీరు ఏ నెంబర్ తీసుకున్నా సరే నేను అందులోంచి ఒక 2 తీసుకురాగలను. అల్టిమేట్గా ఎండ్లో ఒక 5 ఉంది. సో 2 into 5 ఈజ్ మై ప్రిన్సిపల్ వాల్యూ. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ లుకింగ్ అబౌట్, దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ థింకింగ్ అబౌట్. ఖచ్చితంగా నాకు అదే కావాలి. 2 into 5 ఎన్ని ఉంటాయో తెలుసుకోవాలి. క్లియర్? సో నాకు ఇప్పుడు జీరోస్ ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయని సెట్లో తెలుసుకోవాలి అనుకుంటే ఖచ్చితంగా జీరోస్ ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి సెట్లో తెలుసుకోవాలి అంటే ఖచ్చితంగా 2 into 5 సెట్స్ ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయో తెలుసుకోవాలి. ఓకే, ఇఫ్ యూ అబ్జర్వ్ దిస్ సెట్ కేర్ఫుల్లీ, నాకు టూస్ చాలా ఎక్కువ ఉన్నాయి కదా. మోర్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టూస్ ఆర్ దేర్. వై? బికాజ్ 2 into 5 అగైన్ 4 into 5 అన్నాం, అందులో మళ్ళీ 2 into 2 రాసుకున్నా. సో అగైన్ 2. నెక్స్ట్ మళ్ళీ 6 into 5 30, మళ్ళీ 6 2 into 3 అని రాసుకోవచ్చు. సో ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ ఆల్టర్నేట్ టర్మ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ ఎ 2. సో నా దగ్గర బోల్డ్ అని టూస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఖచ్చితంగా when I compare by 2s and 5s, my value of 5s will be minimum. The count of 5s will be minimum. ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? ఖచ్చితంగా కౌంట్ ఆఫ్ 5s తక్కువ ఉంటాయి. సో నాకు ఒక 0 కావాలి అంటే ఒక 2 కావాలి, ఒక 5 కావాలి. రెండు కలిస్తేనే నేను ఒక 0 ఫామ్ చేయగలను. సో మినిమం వాల్యూ ఉన్న 5s ఎన్నో తెలుసుకుంటే అన్ని 2s ఉండాలి, అన్ని 0s ఖచ్చితంగా ఉండాలి. ఒప్పుకుంటారా లేదా? ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? సో ద మినిమం వాల్యూస్ ఆఫ్ కౌంట్ వెన్ కంపేర్ టు 2 and 5 విల్ బి 5. 5 and 2ని కౌంట్లో కంపేర్ చేసుకుంటే కనుక 5 వాల్యూసే తక్కువ ఉన్నాయి. కాబట్టి అసలు 5s ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయో ముందు చూద్దాం. ఓకే, 5s ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయో ముందు చూద్దాం. నవ్ 5s ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయో చూస్తే కనుక, సో ఫస్ట్ నెంబర్ విల్ బి 5 to the power of 10, right? Next number will be 10, which is 2 into 5 to the power of 20. Next 5 term will be 15, that is 5 into 3 whole to the power of 30, right? Next number will be 20, which is 5 into 4 whole to the power of 20. మళ్ళీ ఈ 4ని 2 into 2 రాసుకోవాలి అవసరం లేదు. వీఆర్ కౌంటింగ్ 5s నవ్. 5s ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయో మాత్రమే కౌంట్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో వీ లీస్ట్ బాదర్డ్ అబౌట్ 4 and all. నెక్స్ట్ 5 into 5, దిస్ ఈస్ 40, రైట్? 20 to the power of 40. సో 5 into 5, which is 25 whole to the power of 50. నవ్ ఎన్ని 5s ఉన్నాయో ఒకసారి చూడండి. 5 power 10 into 5 power 20 into 5 power 30 into 5 power 40 into 5 power 50 into 5 power 50. So this is 5 square, right? 5 power 50 into 5 power 50. Clear? Now 10 plus 20, 30, 60, 40, 100. 20, 30, 60, 40, 100. And this is 50 plus 50, 100. So 200 5s will be there. 200 5s ఉన్నాయి అంటే ఖచ్చితంగా 200 2s కూడా నేను కన్సిడర్ చేసుకుంటాను, ఎందుకంటే నా దగ్గర బోల్డ్ అని 2s ఉన్నాయి. అందులో ఒక 200 తీసుకుంటాను. 200 5s 200 2s రెండు కలిపి 200 zeros ఫామ్ అవుతాయి. సో 200 zeros is my answer. 200 zeros is my answer. Clear? This is my answer, 200. Okay, so whenever you are calculating or thinking about a number of zeros, క్వశ్చన్లో కనుక జీరోస్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయమంటే కనుక 2 into 5 అన్నది ఒక పవర్ఫుల్ ఫెయిర్గా కన్సిడర్ చేయొచ్చు. ఓకే, మూవింగ్ ఆన్ టు ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్. Now this is my next question. So 222 to the power of 333 plus 333 to the power of 222 is divisible by which of the following numbers? So ఒకసారి క్వశ్చన్ అబ్జర్వ్ చేయండి. క్విక్లీ అబ్జర్వ్ ద క్వశ్చన్. Triple two to the power of 333 plus 333 to the power of 222. ఓకే, సో నా దగ్గర ఒక పవర్ఫుల్ నెంబర్ ఇచ్చాడు, అది ఇట్ ఈస్ డివిజిబుల్ బై విచ్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ నెంబర్స్ అని ఇచ్చాడు. నా దగ్గర 4 కండిషన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఓకే, నవ్ థింక్ అబౌట్ దట్ నెంబర్. థింక్ అబౌట్ దట్ నెంబర్ వన్స్. నవ్ ద నెంబర్ ఈస్ 222 to the power of 333. Now 222 to the power of 333. Now 222 is an even number, right? See, CSAT is not about applying logics or applying shortcuts. CSAT is all about applying a proper conceptual knowledge. ఓకే, ఈ క్వశ్చన్ చూడడానికి చిన్న క్వశ్చన్లో అనిపించిన మనకి ఈవెన్ నెంబర్స్ మీద ఆడ్ నెంబర్స్, జనరల్ ఈవెన్ నెంబర్స్ అంటే విచ్ ఆర్ డివిజిబుల్ బై 2, ఆడ్ నెంబర్స్ అంటే విచ్ ఆర్ నాట్ డివిజిబుల్ బై 2 అని చిన్నప్పుడు చాలాసార్లు చదువుకున్నాం. బట్ స్టిల్ ఈ క్వశ్చన్ ఆన్సర్ చేయాలంటే కనుక ఖచ్చితంగా మన దగ్గర ఈవెన్ నెంబర్స్ ఆడ్ నెంబర్స్ మీద మంచి గ్రిప్ ఉండాలి. ఓకే, అండ్ దిస్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆర్ దిస్ లాజిక్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ రిపీటెడ్ ట్వైస్ ఇన్ అవర్ ప్రీవియస్ ఎగ్జామ్స్. జాగ్రత్తగా చూసుకోండి, ఇంపార్టెంట్ లాజిక్ ఇది. నవ్ వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ 222? 222 is an even number, right? 222 is an even number. Now even number to the power of 333, which is an odd number. Even number to the power of odd number. What does this give me? What does this give me? మళ్ళీ ఎక్కువ ఆలోచించకండి, పెద్ద పెద్ద నెంబర్స్ గురించి ఏం ఆలోచించద్దు. థింక్ అబౌట్ ఎ సింపుల్ నెంబర్స్. థింక్ అబౌట్ 2 చిన్న నెంబర్ నుంచి తీసుకుందాం. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 2 ఈజ్ ఎ ఈవెన్ నెంబర్, రైట్? 2 to the power of 3 నాకేమొస్తుంది? 8. మై వాల్యూ ఇస్ 8, రైట్? 2 to the power of 3 is 8. అంటే ఒక ఈవెన్ నెంబర్ దాని పవర్లో ఆడ్ నెంబర్ తీసుకుంటే ఐ ఎండ్ అప్ విత్ ఎన్ ఈవెన్ నెంబర్, రైట్? ఐ ఎండ్ అప్ విత్ ఎన్ ఈవెన్ నెంబర్. సో దిస్ విల్ బి ఏ ఈవెన్ నెంబర్. This will be an even number. So 222 to the power of 333 will be an even number. Now what about the next one? 333 to the power of 222. Now 333 is an odd number, to the power of 222 is an even number. Now what does this give me? What does this give me? So odd number, let us consider 3. 3 to the power of 3 to the power of 2. 3 to the power of 2. What does this give me? 9, right? 3 square 9. So an odd number to the power even number is an odd number again. So this will give me an odd number. This will give me an odd number, and the first one 222 to the power of 333 will give me an even number. This will give me an even number. Now what about the combination of even and odd? What about the addition of two values of an even number and an odd number? Now consider these two examples only. My first number is 8. If I consider my even number as 2, 2 to the power of 3 will be 8, right? So this will be 8. This will be 8. And my odd number, which is 3 square, which is 9. 8 plus 9 gives me 17. That means the addition of an even number and odd number will always result me in an odd number. An odd number. So odd number అంటే మళ్ళీ చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి చదువుకున్న లాజిక్ a number which is not reducible by 2. Yes or no? రైట్. సో మీరు ఆప్షన్స్ కనుక ఖచ్చితంగా అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే ఫస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ 2తో డివైడ్ అవుద్ది అని ఉంది, విచ్ ఈస్ నాట్ మై ఆన్సర్. సెకండ్ ఆప్షన్ బట్ నాట్ 2 అని ఉంది, దిస్ కెన్ బి మై ఆన్సర్. ఎందుకు అని అంటే నాకు వచ్చిన ఆన్సర్ 2 మల్టిపుల్ కాదు, ఆడ్ నెంబర్ కాబట్టి ఖచ్చితంగా ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఎ మల్టిపుల్ ఆఫ్ 2. సో సెకండ్ ఆప్షన్ ఆన్సర్ అవ్వచ్చు. థర్డ్ ఆప్షన్ 2తో డివైడ్ అవుద్ది అని ఉంది, విచ్ ఈస్ నాట్ మై ఆన్సర్. అండ్ ఫోర్త్ ఆప్షన్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో 2, 3 and 37, విచ్ ఈస్ నాట్ మై ఆన్సర్. సో ఖచ్చితంగా ఆప్షన్ ఓన్లీ ఆప్షన్ 2 ఈజ్ మై ఆన్సర్. వై? బికాస్ నాకు వచ్చిన ఆన్సర్ ఆడ్ నెంబర్ కాబట్టి ఖచ్చితంగా అది 2తో డివైడ్ అవ్వదు, విచ్ ఈస్ దేర్ ఇన్ మై సెకండ్ ఆప్షన్. సో సెకండ్ ఆప్షన్ ఈజ్ మై ఆన్సర్. Quickly check this. Second option is my answer. Now, moving on to the next one, third one. What is the rightmost digit preceding the zeros in the value of 30 per 30? Try to understand the question. What is the rightmost digit preceding the zeros of in the value of 30 to the power of 30? థర్టీ టు ద పవర్ ఆఫ్ 30. ఓకే. నవ్ అసలు నాకేం కావాలి ఈ క్వశ్చన్లో ఏం అడుగుతున్నాడు అని అంటే, వాట్ ఈజ్ ద రైట్ మోస్ట్ డిజిట్ ప్రిసీడింగ్ ద జీరోస్ ఇన్ ద వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ 30 పవర్ 30. అంటే 30 పవర్ 30 అన్న నెంబర్లో తీసుకుంటే జీరోస్ కాకుండా ఉన్న రైట్ మోస్ట్ నెంబర్ ఏంటి అని అడుగుతున్నాడు. ఓకే, జీరోస్ కాకుండా ఉన్న నెంబర్. సో క్లియర్లీ ఇండైరెక్ట్గా ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్లో నాకు జీరోస్ కావాలన్నాడు, థర్డ్ క్వశ్చన్లో నాకు జీరోస్ వద్దు అంటున్నాడు, జీరోస్ కాకుండా ఉన్న ఫస్ట్ న్యూమరికల్ ఏంటి అని అంటున్నాడు. రైట్. నవ్ what I'll do is can I write this 30 as 3 into 10? 30ని 3 into 10 అని రాసుకుంటే కనుక హోల్ టు ద పవర్ ఆఫ్ 30. హోల్ టు ద పవర్ ఆఫ్ 30. ఓకే. నవ్ వాట్ ఈస్ 10 స్క్వేర్? 10 స్క్వేర్ 100, రైట్? అంతే కదా. 10 స్క్వేర్ దట్ ఈస్ 100. అంటే if I look carefully into 10 square, this is 100. So 10 to the power of 2, I am ending up with 2 zeros. Now what is 10 cube? 10 to the power of 3, I am ending up with 3 zeros, right? Yes or no? Now in the same way, 10 to the power of 30 will lead me to 30 zeros, right? Yes or no? So definitely 10 to the power of 30 is eliminated. Why? Because I need to eliminate all the zeros and I need to calculate what is exactly the non-zero number, right? So I'll eliminate this 10 to the power of 30. So I'll be left with 3 to the power of 30. I'll be left with 3 to the power of 30. 3 to the power of 30. Now, what we'll do is, don't try to calculate the value of 3 to the power of 30. Now tell me, what is 3 to the power of 1? 3. What is 3 to the power of 2? 9. What is 3 to the power of 3? The last digit 7. What is 3 to the power of 4? The last digit 1, right? 81. 1. Now if I go with 3 to the power of 5, 81 into 3, it will be 243 again. That means my last number will be 3 again. So this 3 in terms of power will go with 4 cyclicity. That means these 4 values are being repeated. After my 3 power 4, if I go with 3 power 5, it will be equal to 243. The last number is 3. If I go with 3 power 6, the last number will be 9. If I go with 3 power 7, the last number will be 7, right? So this goes on repeating. Now what I'll do is, I'll simply divide my 30, which is 3 to the power of 30. 30 with 4. So what will be the remainder here? 2, right? That means my second number, which is 9. So the rightmost digit preceding zeros in the value of 30 power 30 will be 9. Clear? 9. Quickly look into this. Done, right? Now, moving on to the next one. Okay. Now, 421 and 477, when divided by the same number, leaves the same remainder 1. How many numbers can be used as the divisor in order to get the same remainder 1? Fine. Now, 421 and 427 are the two numbers. When they are divided by the same number, my remainder should be equal to 1. Try to understand the question. Okay? If I divide with any number, the same number, the remainder has to be 1. Clear? So, how many such numbers are there? That's my question. That's my question. For example, if you divide my 421 with the 2, what will be the remainder? 1, right? Since it's an odd number, definitely 1 should be my remainder. And what about 427? What about 427? It is also an odd number, and if I divide with the 2, definitely I'll have a remainder 1, right? Right? So, how many such numbers are there? Now, 2 is satisfying my condition. 2 is the same number which is dividing 421 and 427 and leaving remainder 1. In the same way, how many numbers are there? In the same way, how many numbers are there which divides 421 and 427 and leaving a remainder 1? Clear? Now, uh, how will you solve this question? Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll subtract the remainder first. My remainder is 1, right? So we'll subtract 1 from 421, which is 420, and the next number 427, we'll subtract the remainder 1 from 427. So I'll be left with 426. Now, try to find the HCF of these two numbers. Now, what is the difference of these two numbers? 420 and 426. The difference is 6, right? This will be my HCF. Highest common factor, you can check also. So, 6 is the highest number that can divide both 420 and 426. Clear? You can try to divide this also. 420 by 6, 670s, 422 by 6, 6 sevens, and 6 ones, right? 670s and 671s. So 6 is the highest number which is dividing both my 420 and 426. Now, quickly get the factors of the 6. Now, what are the factors of 6? 1, 2, 3, 6, right? These are the four factors, right? Now, see, initially we have checked with 2. Yes, we have divided our two numbers with 2, and we got our remainder as 1. In the same way, if you check with 6 also, you'll end up with a remainder 1. In the same way, if you check with 3 also, you'll find the remainder as 1. Clear? So, these are all the four factors of 6 which leaves the remainder 1 when I divide 421 and 427, except this one. Except this one. Why? Because if I divide 421 by 1, so if you divide any number with 1, the remainder will be 0, right? So I cannot consider 1 in these type of questions, right? So excluding 1 out of the 4 factors of 6, I'll be left with 3 factors, 2, 3 and 6. So my answer would be 3. My answer would be 3. There are 3 numbers 2, 3 and 6 which leaves remainder 1 when they divide 421 and 427. Clear? Clear? Quickly look into this question. Done? Now moving on to the next one. Okay. Now my question is a can contains 399 liters of petrol and a can Y contains 532 liters of diesel. They are to be bottled in the bottles of equal size so that the whole part of petrol and diesel would be separately bottled. The bottle capacity in terms of liters is an integer. How many different bottle sizes are possible? Okay, fine. Now try to understand this question. A can X contains 390 liters of petrol and a can Y contains 532 liters of diesel. Now they are to be bottled in bottles of equal sizes. Okay, they're basically he is trying to pack in equal sizes of bottles. That means 399 liters of petrol. He wants to pack it in terms of equal sized bottles. Equal sized bottles. Let it be A. Okay, that means definitely my age should divide 399, right? In the same way, I'm trying to pack my 532 liters of petrol with some equal numbered bottles. Let this also be A again. Let this also be A again. That means again my A should divide 532, right? Why? Because I'm trying to divide my 399 in terms of A. I'm trying to divide my 532 in terms of A. Clear? Now, what we'll do is we'll just try to find the factors of 399 and 532. Now, what is 399? 3 into 133, right? Now, what is this? 4 into 4 into 133, right? Now, you can clearly observe that 133 is the common factor we are having for both 399 and 532, right? Now, my answer is not 133, but my answer is the factors of 133. Just like in the previous question, if you consider that 6 is the highest common factors of both the numbers, you have considered the factors of 6 as your answers, right? Including 6, you have considered the factors of 6 also as your answers, right? I have excluded 1, that is a different scenario. Now in the same way, the factors of 133 can be the answers of this question. Why? Because if the highest common factor 133 is giving satisfying the given condition, definitely the factors of 133 will also satisfy the given condition. Now what are the factors of 133? Factors of 133: 1, definitely 1. 1 is a factor. Now what will be the next one? 7 will be a factor, right? The next one, 19 will be a factor, right? and the last one 133 will be a factor. So these are the four factors of 133. That means I can choose all these four numbers as the possible answers for this question. That means I can pack my 399 liters of petrol and 532 liters of diesel in the factors of, in the form of the factors of 133. Clear? Now, moving on to the next one. Now, moving on to the next one. Consider the following statements in respect of the sum of s equals to x plus y plus z, where x, y, and z are distinct prime numbers, each less than 10. Okay. Now, tell me what are the distinct prime numbers which are less than 10? He is talking about the prime numbers which are less than 10, right? Now, tell me what are the prime numbers? 2, 3, 5, 7. These are the four numbers, right? Now, I can choose any three numbers out of these four prime numbers which are less than 10. That is 2, 3, 5, 7. And I can choose any value for x, any value for z, any value for y, where those are distinct numbers. Those are distinct numbers. So I cannot select a number repeatedly. There should be some distinction. Okay, there should be some distinct value. Clear? There should be no common value. Now tell me, now this is my question. Now try to understand the question first. There are three statements and you need to check how many of the statements are correct. There are three statements for the given question and you need to check how many of the statements are correct. And my first statement is the unit digit of s can be 0, the unit digit of s can be 9, the unit digit of s can be 5. Now, and this is my s, right? S equals to x plus y plus z. Now, take any three numbers, take any three numbers out of this four in the place of x, y, and z and try to add it. You should end up with 0. If you are getting a 0 over there, then my first statement can be proven true. If not, try to check for the second statement whether the unit digit of s can be 9 or not. Choose any three prime numbers from the four out of these four values. Those are distinct values. Those should be distinct according to the question, and check whether I can end up the last digit as 9. If not, then this will be false. In the same way, you are asked to check for the third statement as well. The unit digit of s can be 5. The unit digit of s can be 5. That means if you are picking up three values, if you are picking up three values and if you add them, you should end up 5 as one of the unit digit of s. Now try to pick any of the values. Is 0 is possible? Is 0 possible? So 732, no, right? Check any case. Now 5 3 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10, right? So 0 can be possible here, right? If I pick 2, 3, and 5 as my numbers, and if I try to add them, 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 5, 10. So 0 can be my answer, right? That means 0 can be my last digit of s, unit digit of s, right? So my first option is being satisfied. My first statement is being satisfied. Checking with the second one, checking with the second one, the unit digit of s can be 9. The unit digit of s can be 9. Now, I don't think so, right? 2 plus 3, 7, 3, 10, 2, 12. No. No. They, I cannot find a 9 in my unit digit, right? Check with different combinations. It's a simple one. Check with different combinations. So you're not getting a 9. Now check with my options before checking the third statement. Check with the options. 1 and 2 cannot be my answer since 2 is false. 2 and 3 cannot be my answer, which is false again. 1, 2, and 3 also cannot be my answer. So definitely 1 and 3 should be my answer. Right? So instead of checking all the three statements, after checking two statements, just go with the options, go with the flow. See, my second statement is not the answer. So I'm just simply checking which of the statements, which of the options are having my second statement as correct. Since only one option is there without second option, so definitely third option will be my answer. Definitely third answer will be my answer. Now check this question. Moving on to the next one. Consider the following: 1000 liters equals to 1 meter cube, 1 metric ton equals to 1000 kg, and 1 hectare equals to 10,000 meters square. Which of the following above are correct? Definitely all of the above are correct. All 1, 2, and 3 are correct. These are the perfect measurements which were given as my three statements in the given question. So definitely all the three are correct. All the three are correct. Now check with the next one. Now my next one is let x be a two-digit number and y be another two-digit number formed by interchanging the digits of x. That means if I interchange the digits of x, I will get y, right? The two-digit number which I am considering for x, if I interchange those digits, then I will get y. Now what he is telling? If x plus 5 is the greatest two digit number, now tell me what is the greatest two digit number? What is the greatest two digit number? That is 99, right? The greatest two digit number is 99. Then what is the number of possible values of x? So, for what values of x I can prove that the sum of x plus y is 99. See, that is the basic condition he has given, and he is asking with the values of x, what are the possible values of x that can be considered, so that if I add both my x and y, I should end up with 99. Okay, now can we consider my x as 10a plus b? Yes or no? See, since it is a two-digit number, definitely B should be units place and A should be the tens place, right? So I simply I have written it in the basic format like 10A plus B. Then what will be my Y? Y will be 10B plus A, right? See, I have simply interchanged the terms of x in order to get the value of y. Clear? In order to get the value of y, I simply interchange the values of x, the digits of x. Now, what he is telling, if I add both these numbers, x plus y, I will end up with the greatest two-digit number, which is 99. So, 10a or x plus y is the greatest two-digit number, which is 99. So I'm simply writing what exactly x is, which is 10a plus b plus what about y? 10b plus a, right? This itself equals to 99. Now 10a plus a, this would be 11a, and 10b plus b, this would be 11b, which is equal to 99. Now if I take my 9 as 11 as common, 11, 11, 9 times. That means a plus b should be equal to 9. This is the required condition we have calculated from the given statements, from the given data in the question. Clear? Now, a plus b should be equal to 9. The digits which are in the two numbers, that is x and y, the sum of the two digits should be equal to 9 in order to satisfy all the given conditions in the question. Okay, now tell me, what are the maximum possibles of possible values of a plus b equals to 9? What are the maximum possible values of a plus b equal to 9? If I consider See, I cannot consider 0, right? I cannot consider 0. Why? Because it's a two-digit number. So in a two-digit number, the starting number cannot be 0, right? So I cannot consider a 0 for A, which is the first number of X. Now, can I consider a 0 for B? No. Why? Because B is the first number of Y, right? See, Y is also a two-digit number which is formed by the interchange the digits of X. So B cannot be 0 again. So I cannot consider 0 now. Then what I can consider is I can start with the 8 for A and my B value can be 1, right? Which is 8 plus 1 equal to 9. Now, moving forward, can I consider my A value as 7 and B value as 2? So 7 plus 2 will be 9 again. Now, moving on, 6 plus 3, 9 again. So, if I continue in the same pattern, I can end up with 1 as the value of A and B as the 8 as the value of B, which in turn gives me 8 plus 1 equals to 9. Clear? So these are all the possible values which is satisfying all my conditions. So starting from 8 to 1, that is 8 possible values are there. Option D is my answer. Option D is my answer. There are 8 possible values which is satisfying all the given data in the question. Clear? Now check this once. Done, right? Now. Okay. The next one. Let P, Q, R, and S be the distinct positive integers. Let P, Q be odd and R, S be even. Consider the following statements. Now, there are four basic values or four numbers which are basically positive integers, distinct positive integers, that is P, Q, R, S. And you have clearly mentioned here that P, Q are odd and RS are even. RS are even. Now, she has given me three statements. We need to check which of the following statements are correct. Which of the following statements are correct? Now, initially in the second question or third question, I have already said you. See, the concept of even numbers and odd numbers is very crucial. Okay, and again, I'm telling you, CSAT is all about the conceptual approach. Concept has to be there. Okay, now tell me, the even and odd concept. Let us check this. The even and odd concept. See, again, this question can be solved in two ways. Just like the third one or second one, which we have discussed earlier, this question can be solved in two ways. The first one is a trial and error method. Trial and error method, and the second one is the conceptual way. In a conceptual way, which we are talking about, right? Right? Now, trial and error method is nothing but take any two distinct values, even values for R and S, take any two distinct values for P and Q, odd values for P and Q, and you check these values. You just substitute your numbers, you just plug in your numbers over here. You just plug in your numbers in all these options and check whether your answer is even, check whether your answer is odd. Then you can find whether the statements are true or not. This is one way. Now we'll try to solve. That is easy, right? But it takes time. It's definitely true, but that is easy only. We can do it. Now we'll try to solve it in a conceptual way. We'll try to solve it in a conceptual way. Okay. Now tell me. Now tell me. Now tell me what is the product of this is answer. Now what is the product of two even numbers? What is the product of two even numbers? It's an even number, right? Now check with any of the even numbers. 2 into 2 is 4. Again, even number. So product of two even numbers is an even number, right? Now check with the next one. Product of one odd number and one even number. Now what will be the result? Again, my even number I can consider it as 2 and my odd number is 3. 2 into 3 is 6, an even number. So definitely the product of an odd number and an even number is even again. Clear? Now what about the last possibility? See, odd number and even number product is even, right? In the same way, even number and odd number product is also 3, right? 2 into 3 is 6 and 3 into 2 is also 6, right? You need not write that again, right? Okay. Now the last possibility I have is odd into odd. Now tell me, what about this? Odd into odd. If I consider two odd numbers, that is 3. Any number, any odd number, 5 or 3, if I multiply with the same number, definitely that should be an odd number. 3 into 3 is 9, 3 into 5 is 15, 5 into 7 is 35. Any two odd numbers, definitely I'll end up with an odd number. Right? Now, these are the conditions we have for the product of even numbers and the combination of even and odd. Clear? Now, by observing this, what can I deduce here? I can deduce that even if one number is even, in the product of two or more numbers, if one number is even, I'll end up with an even number. For example, consider any two odd numbers, 5 7. 5 into 7 is 35, right? Now I'm just adding one even number to it, 5 into 7 into 2, that is 35 into 2 70, which is an even number, right? So if I have an even number in the given set, definitely I'll end up with an even number. Okay, if in the given set of numbers which are going to get product, then definitely if one number is even, the result is also will be even. Clear? Now this is the data related to product. Now what about the sum? What about the sum? So I'm just trying to add two numbers and we'll check with the answer now. Any numbers. Now what is even number plus even number? 2 plus 4, 6, an even number again. 2 plus 6, 8, an even number again. So definitely I'll end up with an even number, right? Now, next one. Even number plus odd number. 2 plus 3, 5. 5 plus 3, 8. 10 plus 13, 23. So an even number plus odd number will definitely end up with an odd number, right? And what about the last one? What about the last one? Odd plus odd. Now tell me, 3 plus 5, 8. 5 plus 7, 12. So if I'm adding two numbers, two odd numbers, definitely I'll end up with even. Now, by observing this scenario, what the conclusion I can make here is, if I'm adding two like terms, that is, if all the numbers are even, definitely I'll end up with an even number. In the same way, if all the numbers are odd, definitely I'll end up with an even number again. Those are like terms. That means the numbers which we are adding should be even. All the numbers of them should be even or should be categorized as odd. If I add them, definitely I'll end up with an even number. Now, what about the next one? What about the next one? If the numbers in the given set are unlike terms, that means some of the numbers are even and some of the numbers are odd, then definitely I'll end up with an odd number. Definitely I'll end up with an odd number. Clear? Now what from the product, what we have done is, if at least one of the numbers is even, definitely I'll end up with an even number. This is from the product data we have got, right? Right. Now while doing addition, our assumptions are different, our deductions are different. What you have deduced is, in if the number of terms are like terms, I'll end up with an even number. It might be an even number or it might be an odd number, but all the terms had to be in the same scenario. All the terms I might have to be even, or all the terms has to be odd, then I'll definitely end up with an even number. If there is a combination of even number and odd number, then definitely I'll end up with an odd number, right? Now this is all the data that we need while solving the concepts that we need while solving odd number and even number questions. Now we'll try to answer this. Now what are the odd numbers P and Q, right? And what are the even numbers R and S, right? Now quickly look at the statements. P minus R whole square into Q S is even. Now S is even, right? if I multiply if I multiply all the terms with an even number, forget about the remaining all terms, I have an even number, right? If I multiply any set of numbers with an even number, let it be odd, let it be even, let it be anything, if I multiply with an even number, definitely my answer should be an even number, right? So first statement is being satisfied. First statement is being satisfied. Now second statement, again I have a S here, right? P q minus s, forget about the answer, into q square, forget about it. S is there, which is an even number. According to the question, s is an even number. So definitely, if I'm multiplying s into the given value, some respective value, definitely I'll end up with an even number. So statement 2 is also correct. Statement 2 is also correct. Now, what about the next one? What about the next one? Q plus R whole square equals to P plus S is odd. Now what is P here? P is odd number, right? And what is S? S is even number, right? Now if I add an odd number plus even number, if I add an odd number plus even number, definitely I'll end up with odd number, right? So P plus S should be an odd number. And what if I multiply odd number? Now what about Q plus R? Q plus R. Q plus R. What is Q here? Q is odd, right? And what is R here? R is even. Now odd plus even. Odd plus even. Definitely it's an odd number. Definitely it's an odd number. Now odd into odd will give me an odd number. Odd into odd will give me an odd number. You can check with the numbers as well. I said you right. Consider basic numbers, 3, 5, anything. You can check with those numbers. Now definitely 3 is also true. So 1, 2, 3. All the given statements are true in this question, right? All the given statements are true in this question. Now again I'm telling you, this is all the concept behind the even number and odd number, which every aspirant has to know before before answering these type of questions, especially in odd and even numbers. Clear? Now moving on to the next one. Now quickly look into this. What is the number of files used in numbering a 260 page? Now, what is the number of files used in numbering a 260 page book? Okay, fine. Now, you're basically we'll write assignments, right? And after finishing your assignments, we'll try to number the assignments, right? If we are dealing with a large number of set of papers, in order to avoid confusion, we just number it, right? In the same way, he is trying to number a 260 page book. Now the question is, how many files would be there? How many files I have to write in order to number a 260 page book? Okay. Now, I'll classify my 260 as initially 1 to 100. 1 to 100. Now, tell me in 1 to 100, how many unit digit files are there and how many 10 digit files are there? Now, let us calculate the unit digits files first. This is 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85 and 95. These are the files which are there in the unit place. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now don't tell me 11. Don't tell me 11. Don't consider my tens digit 5 in 55. Tens digit I will calculate in a different mode. Clear? Now I am strictly restricted to unit place fives. So I have calculated them. Those 10 are my numbers. 10 fives are there in unit digits up to 100. Now quickly calculate the number of tens we have. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now don't tell me 11 again. Don't consider my unit digits 5, which have already considered in the units place, right? We have already considered it in my units place, right? So I'm just restricted here with the 5 digits in tens place. Now again I have 10, 10 more fives in tens digit, right? Now checking with the 100 to 200. 100 to 200. Now, in 100 to 200, I guess my number of unit tens and my number of tens place tens will be the same again, right? Why? Because the only number that is being added in 100 place is 1 from 1 to 200. That is 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. I'm just simply adding 1 in my hundreds place. I'm not disturbing my remaining numbers, right? Neither I'm not adding any 5 at 100 digits place, so that the count of 5 may be increased and all. So definitely my count of 5s remains the same in the next set as well. Okay, the reason behind is I'm just adding 1 as in my hundreds place, 101, 102, 103, 104, so on up to 199. No fives are involved in this set, right? So definitely the amount of fives we have in unit place and tens place remains the same. That is 10 and 10 again. Now checking with the last set, that is 200 to 260. 200 to 260. Now tell me the unit fives now. Unit fives 205, 215, 225, 235, 245 and 255. 260 is my last number, right? So I cannot go beyond that. Now number of fives I have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total 6 fives are there from 200 to 260 in my units place. Now checking with my tens place. My tens place 251, sorry, 250, 251, 252, 253, 254, 255, 256, 257, 258 and 259. This is my last number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my tens place of number of fives count is again the 10. Why? Because I'm using every number from 250 to 260, right? Just like from 1 to 100 and 100 to 200, from 250 to 260, all the fives are being used, right? So definitely my tens place remains the same, which is 10. Now quickly count the number of tens we have: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So total 5 tens and 6 more tens in the units place from 200 to 260. So definitely 56 is my answer. 56 will be my answer. Clear? 56 will be my answer. 56 will be my answer. Quickly have a look at this question. Done, right? Moving on to the next one. Okay. So if a sum of a two-digit number AB and CD is a three-digit number 1CE, where the letters A, B, C, D denote distinct digits, then what is the value of A? Okay. Now, you're asked to consider any two-digit number AB and CD. While adding those two numbers, you end up with a three-digit number which is 1CE. Now, you're asked to calculate, you're asked to calculate the value of A, which can be the value of A if A, B, C, D denote A, B, C, D denote distinct digits. Distinct digits. Now, the data that was given in the question is, if I add a two-digit number AB and CD, I end up with 1CE. If I add both these numbers, I end up with 1CE. Now you are asked to calculate what is the value of A. You are asked to calculate what is the value of A. Now what I'll do is, now, observe these values once. Observe these values once. Now, if I add two numbers, if I add two digits, my answer is the same digit. That means if I add A and C here, if I add A and C here, I end up with C again. I end up with C again. If if I add a number and the result is the number itself, definitely the other number should be 0, right? That means A should be 0 here. Why? Because if I add something to 0, my answer would be the same number. If I add C to 0, my answer would be the same number. Now, so definitely A should be 0. Now, can I consider A as 0? Can I consider A as 0? No, right? Why? Because AB is a two-digit number. If I consider A as 0, definitely it is not going to be a two-digit number. So I cannot consider AB as A as 0. Now, what is the other possibility I have? If I get a carry from the previous digits, that is B and D, if I add B and D, and if I get a carry, then I can form a 0 out of A, right? Then I can form a 0 out of A, right? Now, my point is, for example, if A is 8, if I get a carry of 2 from B and D, 8 plus 2 is 10, right? So I can get the value of A as 8. Now, right? Now, my first point, if I add two individual numbers, If I add two individual numbers, what is the maximum carry I can get? What is the maximum carry I can get? The maximum carry I can get. See, let these are distinct numbers, right? Let the two distinct digits be 9 and 8. This can be the most maximum values, right? Right? I cannot go beyond this. Now, what if I add both these numbers? What is the maximum carry I'm getting? 1, right? So, when I add two digits, definitely 1 is the maximum carry we can get. Clear? Now, so definitely there is a cannot be 0. So, in order to make it 0, definitely the carry of 1 should be there. Now, if a carry of 1 is there and if I add 1 to that a, I should end up with a 0. That means the value of a should be 9. The value of a should be 9. So 9 plus 1 is 10, and I have a 0 over there. So whatever I add to 10, definitely I'll end up with the same number. 10 plus c will be c. 10 plus 4 will be 14. 4 here, 1 carried forward. Right? So definitely my value of a should be a. The reason behind is when I am adding two digits, definitely the maximum carry I can get is 1. So if a is 9, definitely with a carry of 1, it can become 10. So I can reflect the same number which I am adding over there. So the value of a would be 9 here. The value of a would be 9 here. Check with this question. Check with this question. We'll move to the next one. Done, right? So moving on to the next one. So three numbers x, y, z are selected from the set of first 7 natural numbers such that x greater than 2y greater than 3z. How many such distinct triplets x comma y comma z are possible? Okay, fine. Fine. Now, okay. In this question, three numbers are being selected from 7 natural numbers. Now, first 7 natural numbers. Now, what are the first 7 natural numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, these from this set, I can select any value for x, for y, and z, and those are to be distinct. Those are to be distinct. That means I cannot select the same number for x, y, or z. I should select distinct values out of those 7 natural numbers. First 7 natural numbers. Okay, clear. Now the condition here is x should be greater than 2y, should be greater than 3z. X is greater than 2y and 2y is greater than 3z. Now that means definitely my x is the largest number, right? The x is the largest number, right? Okay, we'll do one thing. Z, y, x. Z, y, x. Okay, now I'll start with z. I'll try to assign a value for z. Let the value of z be 1. Let the value of z be 1. So what will be the value of 3z? 3, right? 3. So I can choose if the value of z is 1, this would be 3. If the value of y is 2, this can be 4. So 2 into 2 is 4, right? If the value of z is 1, it is 3. If the value of y is 2, this will be 4. Then what can be the value of x? All the remaining numbers which are 5, 6 and 7 can be assigned here, right? Right? If I consider my value of z as 1, definitely 3z equals to 3. If I consider my y as 2, definitely 2y should be 4. Now my x should be greater than both these values, that is 3 and 4. So now greater than 4, I do have only 4 options, sorry, 3 options, which are 5, 6 and 7. So anything might be my answer. That means I can form a triplet 1 to 5, 1 to 6 and 1 to 7. So I can form 3 pair of triplets from the first selection, right? From the first selection, that is a 1 for z and 2 for y, and x can be any of the 3 numbers. So I'm forming 3 triplets, 3 pairs of triplets out of here. Now, what is the next thing I can do here? Now, I can consider z as 2, right? We'll try to consider z as 2. Now, 3 into 2 would be 6, right? If z is 3, definitely my value of, if z is 2, my value of 3z will be 6, right? Now, what are the values should I consider for y and x? What more can I consider for y and x? I have only 7 values. Already I have my sixth number for z. So there is only one larger number than 6, right? Which is 7. How can I assign the same number to both x and y? Those has to be distinct numbers, right? So I cannot assign the values more than 6 for both x and y, right? I have only 7 with me. Definitely my z should be, my x should be greater than my the values of 2z and 2y and 3z. So I cannot consider one more set, right? One more set, right? So definitely three triplets. I can end up with three triplets. Clear? So if I'm adding the next number to z, 3 into 2 would be 6. Okay? So 3 into 2 would be 6. Now what about y? I cannot get a value for y, right? So value of y should be more than z. Value of y should be more than z. If I consider it as 3.5, clearly it has mentioned an integer over there, right? Still I consider 3.5. For time's sake, I'll consider this as 2.5. Value is 3.5. 2 into 3.5 would be 7. Now what about x then? What about the x which should be larger than 2y? I don't have any value more than 7, right? So only 3 triplets can be formed. Only 3 triplets can be formed. Check with this question. We'll move on to the next one. Any more values can we add here? That's it, right? Okay. Just if my z is 1, if my z is 1, what about if I add 3 over here for y? So if my value of z is 1, this will be 3 again. If my value of y is 2, y is 3, this will be 6 again. So I will be left with 7, right? I can consider x as 7, right? 7 is greater than 6, which is greater than 3. So one more set I can get from here, that is 1, 3 and 7. 1, 3 and 7. So adding one more triplet over here. So total 4 triplets can be formed. Total 4 triplets can be formed. See, from the same value of z, from the remaining values of z, I'm 100% sure it won't fit into the context. But for the same value of z, I can consider my y as 3 and z as 7. Sorry, x as 7. X as 7. Now, quickly move into the next one. So three numbers x, y, z are selected from the set of first 7 natural numbers such that x greater than 2y greater than 3z. Now how many such distinct triplets x, y, z are possible? So just now we have completed this question, right? So the next one is 32 to the power of 5 plus 2 to the power of 27 is divisible by which of the following numbers? Which of the following numbers? Now, closely observe the values. 32 to the power of 5 to plus 2 to the power of 27. Now, what is 32 to the power of 5? What is 32 actually? Can I write it in terms of 2? In terms of 2, that is 2 power 5, right? So 2 power 5 whole to the power of 5 plus 2 power 27. Say I have just written my 32 in the form of 2 to the power of 5 whole to the power of 5 and 2 to the power of 27. So this will be 2 to the power of 25 plus 2 to the power of 27, right? And if I take 2 to the power of 25 as common, this will be 1 plus 2 to the power of 2, right? That means 2 to the power of 25 into what is 2 square 4. So 4 plus 1 would be 5. That means now this is the concept which we have used in the first question. Now I can clearly see a 2 and a 5 in my end answer, right? I'm having a 5 over here, then definitely in 2 power 25s, I'll definitely have 1 5, sorry, 1 2, which can join with 5 to form a 0, right? So definitely this number will end up with a 0. Now, that means it should be divisible by 10. It should be divisible by 10. Yes or no? See clearly, I can see a 5 over here, which is accompanied by a 2, at least 1 2 from 2 power 25. So 1 2 and 1 5 will definitely end up with a 0, and definitely that number will be divisible by 10. So option 3 would be my answer. Option 3 would be my answer. Now, moving on to the next one. Okay, check this question once. Now, my question is, a question is followed by two statements 1 and 2. Consider the question and the statements. And my question is, what are the values of m and n where m and n are natural numbers? Okay. So, basically, you're asked to calculate the values of basically you're asked to calculate the values of m and n where m and n are natural numbers. Now, statements are being given. Okay. See, the beauty of this question is this is something related to data sufficiency. Now, the point is you need not get the values of m and n. That's the beauty of this data sufficiency. You need not calculate the exact answer, but you should know which of the following statements helps me to find the answer, right? That means out of the two statements which were given over here, statement 1 and statement 2, which statement can help me to get the answer? That is the least thing you need to find in data sufficiency. You need not worry about the exact answers of m and n. Clear? Now, so my question is very simple. What are the values of m and n which m and n are natural numbers? Now, my first condition is m plus n is greater than mn. M plus n is greater than mn and m greater than n. These are my two conditions. So m is greater than n and m plus n is greater than mn. Now, statement 2. The product of m and n is 24. The product of m and 10 is 24. Now, quickly take 30 seconds of your time. Now, there should be a proper approach while solving the two statements. First, first check me with my first statement. Is my first statement sufficient to get the answer? Try to find it out. Or else do one thing. Try to prove my first statement as wrong. That will eliminate my statement 1, finding the answer, right? Yes or no? So try to prove the first statement wrong. In the same way, check with the second statement. If possible, try to prove my second statement as wrong individually. That means I cannot find an answer using either of the statements alone. Then I can think about whether I can find the answer by combining the two statements. This is the approach you have to adopt in data sufficiency. First, you have to check with the first statement whether it can help me in finding the answer or not. If possible, try to prove it wrong, or else go to the second one, try to prove it wrong, or try whether it will help you in finding the answer, or else use both the statements. Then also, if you're not able to find the answer, then you can quickly go to the answer as question cannot be answered even by using both the statements, which is the last option. If you are unable to find the answer by using the two statements also. Okay, quickly solve, take 30 seconds, quickly try to solve this. Quickly try to solve this. Done, right? We'll start with my first statement. We'll start with the first statement. Now, statement one is m plus n is greater than mn and m greater than n. Okay. Let's see. Please start with the statement one itself. Only one statement. Don't think about the second statement. Okay. In the same way, while solving the second statement, think about the second statement only. Don't think about the first statement initially. After evaluating both the statements individually, then think about the combination of both the statements. Clear? Now, let us take the value of m as 3 and the value of n as 1. Okay. Why? Because m is greater than n, right? So I have considered my m as 3. Any two values you take it. I just consider 3 and 1 at random. Okay. Now, what is 3 plus 1? 4, right? Which is greater than 3 into 1? Yes or no? 3 plus 1 is 4, which is greater than 3. 3 into 1 is 3, right? Clear? Now, so my first statement is indicating two numbers as the values of m and n, which is 3 and 1. If these are only the two values which I can get from the statement 1, then I can easily solve the question using the first statement. But check with the other values as well. If I consider my m as 5 and n as 1, what is the value of 5 into 1? 5, right? Now, what is the value of 5 plus 1? 6. So, 5 plus 1, 6 is greater than 5. So, again, I can get two more possible values for m and n, which is 5 and 1. So, now what I have done here is I have just proved the statement 1 wrong. That means by using statement 1, I am getting more than one possible set of values for both m and n. Clear? Clear? So, statement alone, alone is not sufficient to answer my question. Clear? Statement 1 alone is not sufficient to answer my question. Why? Because I am getting two set of values. I am getting two set of values. Clear? Now, what about statement 2? What about statement 2? The product of m and n is 24, right? Okay. Now, what are the factors or what are the numbers that end up with 24 if I multiply them? Now, can I consider it as 24 and 1? 24 ones 24, right? Can I consider it as 12 into 2? A 24 again, right? Now, can I consider this as 8 into 3? A 24 again. Now, can I consider this as 6 into 4? A 24 again, right? Now, any more values? 4 into 6 again, 3 into again, 2 into 12 again. That means the number will be being repeated in reverse order. But since Okay. Now, if I consider only statement 2, now if we consider only statement 2, I'll end up with 4 values, right? I have too many numbers which end up with the 24. 24 into 1 is 24, 12 into 2 is 24, 8 into 3 is 24, 6 into 4 is 24. So statement 2 is also wrong. I have proved that by using statement 2, I can end up with more than one set of values. So statement 2 alone is not sufficient to answer my question. Statement 2 alone is not sufficient to answer my question. Now, I am checking the combination of both the statements. I am just checking with the combination of both the statements. Now, what is my combination here? What is my combination here? So, m should be greater than n, right? M should be greater than n. That means this should be my m and this should be my n, right? These are the larger values which should be m, and these are my smaller values which should be n. Now, what is the next one? M plus n should be greater than mn. Okay, what is m plus n? 24 plus 1, 25, which is greater than m into n, 24. So first set is being correct. It is satisfying my first statement. Now, what about my second set? 12 plus 2, 14 is 12 plus 2, 14 is greater than 12 into 2, 24, which is wrong. 8 plus 3, 11, which is greater than 8 into 3, 24, wrong again. 6 plus 4, 10, it should be greater than 6 into 4, 24, which is wrong again. So I'm ending up with only one set of values, which is 24 and 1. That means the value of m is 24 and n is 1. And I got my values after considering both my statements. Not a single statement individually, but considering both the statements at a time. So my answer would be the question can be answered by using both the statements together, but cannot be answered by using either of the statements. So option C would be my answer. Option C would be my answer. Clear? Option C would be my answer. Clear? Now, let us check with the next one. So next one. A question is, again, it's a question of data sufficiency. A question is given followed by two statements, 1 and 2. Consider the question and the statements. And my question is, what are the unique values of x and y? What are the unique values of x and y, where x and y are distinct natural numbers? So again, you are asked to get the values of x and y which are distinct natural numbers. In previous question, we have calculated the values of m and n using both the statements, right? Now in this question, you are asked to calculate the values of x and y. Clear? Now, my first statement, x by y is odd. X by y is odd, and my statement 2, x into y is 12. These are my two statements. Now for understanding the question, initially I have read both the statements, but while solving the question, I will not read the statements at a time. Initially, I will deal with statement 1. Either I will try to find the answer using the first statement, or I will prove it wrong. I will show that I can get multiple answers using the first statement. Then I will go to statement 2. Either I will try to find the answer from statement 2, or I will try to prove it wrong by finding multiple answers for the same statement. Then I will use both the statements and I'll check whether I can get a solution or not. If not, then definitely my answer should be one among the options which says that answer cannot be obtained from using any of the statements. Clear? Now try to solve this. Take 30 seconds. Take 30 seconds. Try to solve this. Okay, we'll try to find a solution for it. Now, what is my first statement? What is my first statement? X by y is odd, right? X by y is odd. Now using that single statement or single condition, can I find the values of x and y? I cannot find it, right? No, I cannot find it, right? So using statement 1, I cannot find the solution. Using the statement 1 alone, I cannot find the solution. Clear? Now coming to statement 2. What is the product of x and y is equal to 12? Now, the product of x and y is equal to 12. Now what can be the value of x and y? X and y. Okay, forget about this x and y. Forget about this x and y. Now, what can be the possible numbers in order to get a product of 12? Starting from 1 into 12, 2 into 6, 3 into 4, 4 into 3, again 6 into 2, again 12 into 1, right? These are the possible factors. Okay, now in the previous question, we have not considered the numbers in reverse order. That means m into n, while getting a value of 24, I have written factors from one side only. I have never reversed it. That means, see, here I have written 1 into 12 and 12 into 1 as well. Why? Because in that question, it was clearly mentioned that m is greater than n. But in this question, I cannot get any clear condition about the comparison between x and y. But see, x and y is an odd number, right? X and y is an odd number. Then definitely my x should be greater than y, right? Then only my x divided by y will be odd number, or else it will be a decimal number. Yes or no? If my x is less than y, definitely it will be a decimal number, right? So definitely my x is greater than y. Now, individually using statement 1, I cannot find anything out of it. Individually using statement 2, I found many answers. 1 into 12, 2 into 6, 3 into 4, 4 into 3, 6 into 12 into 1. I found many answers. So individually, statement 2 is also wrong. I cannot get my answer using statement 2. But when I observe both the statements, statement 1, I can conclude that x is greater than y, right? That means x should be greater than y. X, if I consider this as x and this as y, it should be greater than y. So these are not my values. These are not my values. So these three can be my values. But in order to get the solution, I need to find only one answer, right? I need to find only one answer. Now, what is x by y is an odd number, right? Now 4 by 3 is not an odd number. 6 by 2 is an odd number. 12 by 1 is not an odd number. So I'll be having only one set of answer, right? 6 and 2. So my value of x will be 6 and my value of y would be 2. And if I divide my 6 and 2, definitely I'll end up with 3, which is an odd number. So using both the statements, I can find the answer. By using only any of the single statements, I cannot find the answer. So using both the statements, I can get the answer. So my answer would be C again. The question can be answered by using both the statements together, but cannot be answered using either of the statements. But cannot be answered using either of the statements. So, this is all about today's session. We have discussed some of the important previous model questions of CSAT paper from the concept of number system. Now, we'll have see, this is from LTX classes. మీరు LTX క్లాసెస్లో ఒకవేళ కంప్లీట్ కోర్స్ జాయిన్ అవుదాం అనుకుంటే కనుక వీ హ్యావ్ అవర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్డ్ సురేష్ సార్. ఆయనతో పాటు రీజనింగ్కి మనకి రవితేజ సార్ అని ఉన్నారు. క్వాంట్కి వచ్చి ఐ పర్సనలీ డీలింగ్ విత్ ఇట్ క్వాంట్. సో మీరు కంప్లీట్ కోర్స్ కావాలి అనుకుంటే మన దగ్గర లైఫ్ టైం కోర్సెస్ అవైలబుల్గా ఉన్నాయి. ఇలాగే కాకుండా ఓన్లీ క్వాంట్ మాత్రమే జాయిన్ అవుదాం అనుకుంటే వీ హ్యావ్ ఇన్ఫినిటీ క్వాంట్ ప్యాటర్న్. ఐ థింక్ ఇన్ఫినిటీ క్వాంట్లో కూడా ఉంది ఎల్టీఎక్స్లో. ఒకసారి చెక్ చేయండి, యాప్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అందులో ఉన్న నెంబర్కి కాల్ చేయండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ.